Read, you ignorant ape. Read what intelligent men have written for thousands of years. What did he call me?
Jules, please.
He called me an ape?
Gentlemen.
Not merely ape.
Quiet. Please
Ignorant
remember that
ape.
we're on...
Why, you...
Remember...
Hello, welcome to Kaiju Review.
You know, it's been about a year since we started this channel, hasn't it?
Just about, yeah.
Yeah, and in all that time, one thing has just been bugging me. What does our name mean?
You're the one that thought of it.
Alright. Oh yeah, now I remember. It stands for Gamera, Godzilla,
And King Kong. Wait, who stole the King Kong poster?
Well, anyway, since this is our 12th episode of Kaiju Review, I think it's time we talk about this big guy. Gamera, the giant monster.
I thought we were talking about Gamera the Invincible.
I suppose we could talk about both movies.
Yeah, it's technically the same movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gamera.
Gamera, yeah.
Proceed.
Carry on.
In the Arctic, some planes are flying over as a team of researchers led by Dr. Hidaka visit an Eskimo village. They spot the planes which have silent engines and wonder about their origins. The crew of the research ship, the Chidori Maru, sends word of the planes to an American base. Jets are sent out to contact the bogies.
Meanwhile, in the American release, a different American base is contacted by the Chidori Maru and also sends out jets to investigate. After several failed attempts to contact the mystery planes, the Americans shoot them down. The research team witness the crash and worry of its effect. Back at the second American base, more jets are sent out to investigate the crash site. The explosion of the mystery planes inadvertently releases a colossal turtle.
Interesting. A big turtle.
At the second base, the captain gets off the phone with the contact in Russia who claims that their planes had flown off course. As the research team prepare to return to their ship, Dr. Hidaka is shown a stone with writing on it, told of a local legend, the Devil's Messenger, from the continent of Atlantis, Gamera.
So this stone is going to explain everything that they need to know for this movie, right?
Nope, not really.
The turtle, named after the legend, approaches the Chidori Maru and the crew are forced to flee the ship. Both American bases receive the final message from the ship regarding Gamera, and they send out planes to investigate, but can find neither the ship nor the turtle.
Oh, I think Gamera's gonna be a nuisance.
After returning to civilization, Dr. Hidaka speaks with the press about Gamera, talking about the legend. Hidaka laments that the turtle will likely die due to the radiation it was exposed to. On another program, a pair of experts debate whether or not Gamera could exist, but the debate ends up devolving into name-calling between the experts.
In Japan, a UFO is spotted in the skies by various sources.
There's aliens in this movie?
On the flight home, Dr. Hidaka speaks with his assistant, Kyoko, and a news reporter who had been on the prior expedition, Aoyagi, about Gamera's demise and the ill fate of the ship. An American committee is formed to investigate the UFO sightings and wonder if it has any connection to Gamera.
A young woman, Nobio, learns that her younger brother, Toshio, is doing poorly in school, result of his unhealthy obsession with his pet turtle. Nobio and her father tell Toshio to set his turtle free, and despite his protest, he does so.
I don't know about this kid, Brian.
Soon after, Gamera appears, ready to wreak havoc. Toshio climbs to the top of the lighthouse when Gamera attacks.
What the heck is this kid doing? Does this kid have a death wish or something?
When the lighthouse breaks, Gamera catches the boy, puts him on the ground. This convinces Toshio that Gamera is actually a good monster.
This kid is crazy.
After his plane lands, Hidaka is informed by the press of Gamera's survival, and he and Kyoko travel to Hokkaido. Toshio searches for his pet turtle, and when he can't find it, he becomes convinced that his pet and Gamera are one and the same.
No, they're not.
The reporter tags along with Hideka and his assistant. Gamera appears near the power plant as Hideka and the others arrive as the military discuss their plan to electrify cables in Gamera's path, hoping to stop the monster. The plan is put into motion, but Gamera is unaffected, almost growing stronger as he continues his rampage. Gamera begins feeding on the flames of the wreckage. Everyone watches in horror.
Hidaka consults an associate of his, Dr. Murase, who speculates that Gamera's skin is stronger than any man-made alloy, and that conventional weapons are useless against the creature.
Of course not. Look how big it is.
He also mentions that atomic weapons may only result in feeding it.
As the military continues to fight a losing battle against Gamera, they contact an American base hoping to use a nuclear weapon. The American committee proposed aiding the Japanese Defense Force in dealing with Gamera. The weapons are prepared for combat when Hideka and the others arrive. Toshio, who had been in the crowd watching, tries to tell them not to shoot Gamera.
Stupid kid.
Hidaka and Murase agree with the boy, explaining that Gamera will likely just enjoy the attack more than be harmed by it. Toshio thanks them for preventing the attack on Gamera.
With the power plant completely lost, Hideka speculates that cold blast weapons might be the key to stop Gamera. The commander mentions that an experimental freeze bomb, but says that it will only last for 10 minutes.
Only 10 minutes? Well, it's better than nothing.
With Gamera on the move, the military scrambles to put their plan into motion.
After successfully freezing Gamera, the military plant dynamite, hoping to knock Gamera onto his back, assuming that, as a turtle, he'll be unable to right himself. The plan appears to be successful, and they believe that Gamera will starve to death as a result.
I don't think so.
Gamera pulls his head and limbs into his shell, and as everyone watches, begins expelling fire from his limb holes. Spinning around using the flames jets, Gamera begins to hover in the air, riding himself as he flies into the night sky.
Well, okay, that just happened. We have a giant flying turtle. What's next? A lizard that shoots rainbows out of its back?
After Gamera's escape, the United Nations are gathered to hopefully deal with the giant monster by pooling their resources. The general explains that Gamera's diet may be the result of its advanced age, and that Gamera's rampage is merely his attempts to find food. Both the Soviet Union and America agree to provide resources, though the Soviet representative is hesitant to allow the general to take command of the operation due to the Americans shooting down their planes earlier. The head of the committee states that a debate over such a relatively petty matter is silly in the face of Gamera, and everyone agrees to aid in Plan Z.
Plan Z? What is this Plan Z you speak of?
Later, Toshio is almost hit by a car while carrying rocks in his backpack, with Toshio claiming that Gamera is his pet turtle. Gamera has been spotted in various places around the world, but has thankfully not yet attacked a populated area. Toshio and his sister visit Hideka, explaining that they have to come to Tokyo to stay with relatives following the destruction of their lighthouse home. Toshio once again claims that Gamera is not a bad monster.
Have you seen all the destruction he's caused?
Toshio confronts his cousin about his missing rocks, and the cousin admits to throwing them into the river because Toshio wouldn't show them to him. This causes Toshio to get all depressed.
And this scene does little aside from show us just how antisocial this turtle-obsessed idiot is.
A committee is formed to deal with Gamera as Hideka explains Gamera's characteristics, including his ability to jam radio frequencies. Fishing has become terrible business due to the fish in the area dying off, flooding increasing as ships crash at sea due to radio jamming. At a press conference, Hedeka states that his opinion is that Gamera may be responsible for the incidents and that Monster may be hiding in Tokyo Bay. Foreign diplomats fly in to discuss with the scientists the secret Plan Z.
You guys keep bringing up this Plan Z. Why won't you tell me what it means?
Gamera flies into Tokyo, destroying an air traffic control tower. People in a club keep partying despite the police trying to get them to safety. Gamera begins rampaging in a city, destroying the club in its path. The military scrambles to defend the city as Gamera knocks down Tokyo Tower, turning the city into a sea of fire, killing hundreds of civilians.
Well, that's terrifying.
Despite all the destruction he's causing, Toshio remains convinced that Gamera isn't a bad guy.
Oh yeah, he's a total sweetie, just like Godzilla was in his first film.
Toshio goes missing in the confusion.
The committee plans to keep Gamera in one spot, supplying him with petroleum to consume. They use a railway nearby to transfer the fuel to a hungry turtle. Toshio sneaks in and climbs aboard one of the rail cars to get close to Gamera.
You are a stupid, stupid child. Does this kid have a brain or anything? Probably not.
If it is, it's the size of a pea.
Someone spots the boy and goes after him, trying to pull him to safety before the tankers explode. Unfortunately, Toshio survives.
The committee finalizes Plan Z and prepares to put it into action. Aoyagi parts ways with Hidaka and Kyoko. Murase watches as Gamera's destruction continues. Toshio sneaks aboard the ship transporting supplies to Oshima Island for Plan Z.
Could somebody please put this kid in timeout or something?
Nobuo arrives to tell Murase about Toshio's disappearance.
Toshio is found and brought to Hedeka on Oshima Island, and Hedeka allows Toshio to stay as long as he doesn't cause trouble. With a typhoon on the way, Hedeka starts Plan Z. Murase informs Nobuo that Toshiro is safe.
Firing on barrels of oil in the water, the military uses the flames to lure Gamera to Oshima Island.
That is actually pretty smart.
As Gamera nears the island, the typhoon hits and it begins raining, dousing the flames that are luring Gamera.
In desperation, someone starts a nearby shack on fire. When confronted, the man Oyagi admits that he did it to lure Gamera, and the group work to make the fire bigger. Gamera notices and once again lured to Oshima Island. Then the rain comes down harder, dousing the new bonfire. When all hope seems lost, a nearby volcano erupts and manages to hold Gamera's attention.
Well, Gamera does love him some fire.
As morning breaks, Murase and Nobuo arrive on Oshima Island, and the young woman is reunited with her stupid little brother. Flames are lit and Gamera is lured into position. Large doors are moved into place, encapsulating the giant turtle. They launch Gamera into space, bringing the film to a close.
Well, that was Gamera, folks.
I really like this movie.
But that kid, that stupid kid.
What was he thinking? He's really stupid.
But other than that, it's a pretty darn good film.
We both really recommend this movie.
Highly recommend it. For Kaiju Review, this is me, Protomet.
I'm the Kaiju Master.
Peace.